Hello and welcome to the ATM podcast with me, Jim Jefferies, and
Amos Gill. We're recording the beginning of the show here to let you know that we had quite a few interesting discussions in this one.
We just recorded the episode. We are going to talk about Elon Musk, of course. My hemorrhoids. How could we go an episode without mentioning them?
You're not to be trusted on the
We're going to talk about a woman who set a man on fire. That's going to be fun.
We are going to do that. We're going to talk about the new filter on Tinder that is making people furious. We'll also discuss a little bit of Trump's administration and the new tech overlords that he's signed over all of our freedom to. I'll be honest with you, we didn't really nail that topic. That one got a little bit lost in there somewhere.
And we're going to talk about Jordan. Michael, maybe. Check it out. Also, we got to advertise our gigs.
Yeah, where are you heading?
I am in Saskatoon this weekend, next weekend, and other places in Canada. Go to jimjeffries.com. Regina and Casino Roma. Also, check out The Snake on Fox and check out the 1% Club on 7 in Australia.
Oh, good on you. I don't have anything to plug at the moment other than my Chicago shows, which are well into the future. But if you're a Chicago person, I am coming to Zanies in July and excited to do that. But if you want to, if you have any vague interest in me, I'm putting out some stand-up on my Instagram and my YouTube. But go to a bit of Amos Gill on Instagram. I've got a new joke on there about Sydney Sweeney. Give that a like and a share because I need you lovely people to share my stuff.
Although we actually say that joke on this podcast.
Yeah,
so enjoy.
But I did it much better when I was paid to. That was all the good stuff.
That was good. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
If you don't enjoy this podcast, it's because Jack misses all the good stuff. And anytime he hits record, it's rubbish, unfortunately.
All right, that's a good start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ATM podcast. That was our new topper. That's how we start the podcast now. We talk about the things we're about to talk about. We haven't actually talked about the things yet.
Hey, Jim, we had a meeting.
This conversation can go in any direction.
We had a meeting earlier today with the company that produces this. They said we should be a little bit slicker, so I got a 2013 iPad. We're running off the iPad now.
Yeah, I have an iPad that I went out to England for my father-in-law's funeral, and then I ducked over to Dubai for a gig. Then I went back to England to meet my wife and child. And in that time, I lost my iPad on 2 flights.
Oh, you put it in the chair?
Yeah. Put it in the front bit.
And then all the time.
And then, but it was at the airport waiting for me each time I got back.
Really?
I just rang him up and said, "Yeah, I left this thing. What seat you in?" And then I went and got it from Lost and Found.
God, that's a nice level of money to be at where you're like, I just keep losing iPads. Oh, well, I go down and pick up another one.
No, it's the same one.
Oh, but why do you even bring them? It's just for watching because you don't do work.
It's my iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost it in the front section.
Right.
I got stoned on the flights, which is what you're meant to do on the way to Dubai.
Better get rid of it there, you know?
Yeah.
Don't
I'm
keep
going to
it.
be put in prison for the rest of my life.
Well, with my iPad, I've decided we're going to get straight into some stories from around the world, but I want to start off with a story from our fair country of Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the top story at home.
Yep.
24-year-old Australian woman.
Good, I like it already.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Nice 24-year-old Australian woman. She'd speak like this. Oh.
This story's got 2 years before we're disinterested in it. There's 26-year-old Australian woman. The sun has done real damage by that point.
You must understand that a 26-year-old Australian is a 40-year-old American. You got to understand that.
It's real Floridian skin by that point.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. We all end up looking like wallets if we stay there.
That's where the R.M. Williams boots come from.
I've got youthful skin for a smoker. I'm an Australian normal person.
Yeah, you've got really great skin. That's because you don't do anything active outside.
That's all right.
It's been very good for you.
Keep hats on me head. The baldness has made my skin look good.
So a 24-year-old Australian woman is in court at the moment after setting her friend on fire. This is her.
There he is. So hold her up to the camera so we can all see her. There she is.
Well, Jack could also add this woman. Her name is Corby Jean Warple.
Corby Warple? I went to school with Corby Warple.
Jeez.
No, I don't know. That someone would say that.
You repeated a few years.
Yeah, someone would say that. No, I was I was a gardener.
Yeah, I was a gardener. Corby Warple, 24, pleaded guilty in Albury District Court to arson after an attack on Jake Loader, saying she felt overwhelmed at a gathering by his antagonistic behaviour throughout the night before. She was set off by a sexist remark he made during a house party in New South Wales last year. Now, according to the ABC,
What was the joke?
He said to her, now imagine this, they're all sort of, it's an Australian
You
sesh.
play Corby Warble. I'll play Corby Warble. You play the guy.
All right, so we're drinking sort of, I imagine, Bacardi Breezes, vodka
good.
cruises.
And we'll have some hard solos.
We had some hard solos.
Hard solos. It's like lemonade with aerated with alcohol.
Now, we don't know what had been going on in the lead up, but Mr. What's his fucking name? The fella. He goes, you should stay in the kitchen and make scones if you can't keep up with the banter with the boys.
Right? Is this guy from the 1940s? What with scones? Go make scones.
Oi, bitch, get us some clotted cream.
Yeah, they don't understand because Americans call scones biscuits or whatever. It's more like a scone, but it's like a small version of a biscuit, and you have it with cream and jam, and you'll get it on a British Airways flight if you sit up the pointy end.
So Jake later's asked her to go and make some scones.
I'm a very relatable fella.
I like that. You do all the translating. That's why he loses the iPads on the flights, is because he's eating the scones. I don't want my jam fingers touching the screen. You get it out of there for me. So she's heard that and she's fucking raging. And she's probably a little lit up.
She wouldn't have done too much, though. She would have taken it in a stride, surely.
So she grabbed a gallon of gasoline from the garage and doused Loader with it and waved a lighter at him threateningly, the publication has reported. Jake said, go on, do it. I dare ya. Loader yelled at his friend, who was drunk and had consumed cocaine. She has confessed to court.
Oh, yeah, she's assuming. Okay, cocaine. Cocaine's a bastard of a drug to fight with. It's good in the good times, cocaine. If you're having a good time, cocaine adds to the good time. In the bad times, it's not a good drug in the bad times. It puts a microscope. It's salt. You know what I mean?
Elevates the flavour of the mood.
Elevates the flavour of the mood, but you can oversalt.
Well, she's obviously thought, you know what, I'm going to set him on fire. And even he, who's probably on cocaine as well, yeah, whatever.
He's like, she's just flirting with me.
Well, anyway, Loader sustained burns to 55% of his body.
Oh, wait a minute. She actually lit him. She didn't just wave it around and go, whatever.
Oh, she lit him.
So in the kitchen.
She's just set him on fire in the hang. 55% of his body was burned, and some of his sweat glands are completely burned off. So I guess he is like Prince Andrew. He will no longer be able to sweat.
And you know what? Even after being burnt the whole time, people will always ask the story, and he has to tell people, I told a woman that she should go in the kitchen and make scones.
Yeah, they'll be like, listen, that is very sexist. I don't support what she did, but come on.
Yeah.
Have you grown?
Bit rough.
He was put into
I hope you learnt your lesson.
He was put into a medically induced coma for 8 days after the attack, according to his victim impact statement.
He wouldn't have even known what's happened in the Ukraine. He would have been behind on the news and everything.
So let's have a listen. I want you to give this a go. He made a victim impact statement, which he read out to the court after having 10 operations. He spent 74 days in a burn unit in a Melbourne hospital. The friend can no longer step outside into the sun anymore because of the extensive epidermal damage. So he has to be fully covered up from now on.
Yeah.
Warple told the court that she'd been abusing drugs and alcohol since she had a breakup with a boyfriend in 2022. Obviously, he had a penchant for scones and it triggered her in some way. And she does regret. And then it goes on to say...
She does regret? She's not sorry?
You know, so.
I do feel some regret for pouring gasoline on a fella and lighting him. I should have used my words.
That's for the pay gap, she said. No. To this day, I feel horrible.
To this day? How many days has it been?
It must be a year now.
Oh, okay. To this day. I feel horrible, remorseful, and guilty for what I done to Jake. Not only to Jake, but his family, his loved ones, and mutual. She fucking burned everyone. Yeah.
Anyone who has been impacted by this case, she told the court, I find it hard to believe the injuries that were caused from my doing, Warple added. I would do anything to go back in time.
But I feel like I've burnt that bridge.
Burnt that bridge along with a few other things, as well as a moped and a VL Commodore. She pleaded guilty to one charge of burning and maiming by using corrosive fluid, the ABC reported.
She should go in for attempted manslaughter. How long is she being put away for? Tell me she's not getting out of prison.
I don't know how long she's going to get, but listen, I know they're going to paint this as, well, unfortunately, like if you tease women, okay.
No, I don't. I have to believe that they won't. I know where you're heading with this, that all the women are going to go up in arms and say, because he said the scone thing, he deserves it. No one could think
no one deserves to be
this man
burned.
deserves to be burnt. Third degree burns.
I don't know, dude. There's some hardcore female influencers out there that I see online who are like, well, I don't agree with this, but you will think twice before you ask me to go back to the kitchen.
If that's allowed, I can't leave the house anymore. I've said too much.
Yeah.
If there's women with gasoline. Also, who just keeps gasoline in the garage?
What do you mean? Are we for mowers?
Oh, yeah, the lawnmower. All right, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I got gardeners.
But it is one way to reinforce.
I'm normally eating a scone in business class.
What's this gasoline? I have a Tesla. It's the old world, mate.
You can say what you want about Teslas, but it never got a guy in trouble for a joke, did it?
No, you can't. Well, you could hook him up to a battery.
Yeah, true that.
Like an ISIS terrorist. But I just thought that was quite an interesting. That's a bizarre
What do you mean quite
story.
interesting? Where were they from? Let me pick the state.
Oh, it's Albury.
Oh, Wodonga.
Albury, Wodonga region.
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's not much to do there, but except for burn people.
But like these are people in their 20s, so they're obviously like it's a mate group as well.
Yeah.
And that's a
And she's single. It's not like she's some bloke's girlfriend who showed up. She's single, so she's there in the group.
She's in the. There must have been one guy who was
she's
like
single and ready to burn people.
Yeah, there must have been one guy who was like, "Fucking hell, Jake, we were in with her," and then you've gone with that sexist remark, and you got set on fire. What a cock block!
Yeah. Well, okay. Look, just to make it all even,
she
should cook him some scones.
You're saying she should go back to the kitchen?
If she went to the kitchen, cook him some scones in like a fucking sexy Halloween maid's outfit, like gotta turn it. Look, the crime and the punishment have to fit.
Yeah. The judge has handed down in sentencing, she has to dress in a sexy nurse outfit and wait on him for a year.
There isn't enough aloe vera in the world.
All right, well, that's an Australian story. Now I'm going to go
to an Australian story. Welcome to Australian Stories, our barren wasteland.
I'm not representing us at our best. But
Different animals that you've never seen. Snakes, spiders, Burning Men for comments. Australia.
If it's difficult to find a partner, knowing that some of them, like she moving forward probably has to disclose that when she has a boyfriend. Oh, listen, I have a bit of a temper. So
all I see is red fire. The red mist of when someone pours the water over my victims. Like back in the day, in like the 80s and 90s and the 70s, they reckon there was more pedophilia going on than there is now. But because we have those apps where we can go like abusers and you can see all the sexual abusers, and you can go, this guy's, all around you.
Terrible.
You don't want to turn that app on. It's terrifying.
What's that Citizen app?
It's terrible. Well, what I'm saying is, was she got on that fire alert app?
She's on the CFS pest app?
No. Okay, do you remember in Australia, people won't remember this, in Australia we had safety houses?
You would flee there if there was a bushfire?
No. If you were walking along, there was Neighbourhood Watch Safety House, right?
Yes.
And people would put a plaque on front of their mailbox that says, "This is a good house. If you're in danger, knock on this door and these people will take you in," right?
Right.
So if you're
it's like a CIA safe house.
No, it had a plaque on
I understand, but like for the neighbourhood, you go, if you're in trouble, run in here and we'll look after you.
Yes. It turned out
it's a honeypot.
It turned out a lot of pedophiles applied for this thing. They had to fucking get rid of it.
Yeah, you'd reckon.
Because we didn't have like computer stuff or anything. We just had someone check out the house and go, if the kids are bloody having trouble on the way home from school, if they think there's
sweets in here.
All you got to do is get your mate Phil, follow him around the street, down my road. That's all you have to do.
I can't believe we had the scouts everywhere. Pedophiles did go everywhere and anywhere. They're sort of like spiders. That's why they're called rock spiders. They're lurking.
There used to be scout leaders that were blokes that had no sons that were just scout leaders in the scouts.
Yeah.
Right? And you think to yourself, like, is that still happening now that there's the internet? Are there still blokes that are showing up? Because I think the statute of limitation, we should just go back and find anyone who was a scout leader without a son.
Well, let me ask you this question on a broad scale then. Do you think there are just kind, sort of strange men that want to help kids without sexual impulse? Or do you think all of them have a bizarre sexual impulse? Because you want to believe there's some kind old people.
I think there's some school teachers who, of course, are dedicated school teachers who may not have kids who just want to, thing. And I think there's people who may even work, like try to help out, like in some type of fashion somewhere. But I don't believe. I believe that a priest who doesn't want to molest kids would be in the minority. and I believe that any scoutmaster that doesn't have a son in the actual scouts is up to no good.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Well,
but like, let's say you wanted to be a sports coach. Maybe
I
you
coach grade 2 boys.
Exactly.
But that's because I couldn't get a gig anywhere
No, but
else.
actually, because you're good at the sport and you want to pass your knowledge on.
Yeah.
In the scouts, come on, passing your knowledge on, learning how to make fire.
We need knots.
And to do a few knots. Come on, we got YouTube.
Yeah.
We don't need this knowledge from you. You're good.
What I think is interesting, I did this show about ancient Greece in 2020, and I revisited it the other day. I was cleaning out my bloody filing cabinet, and you are taken aback in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, for most of the old world before this modern one. It was just very normal that it would be like you get paired up with a bloke who teaches you the ways of the world, and he fucks you. Like
Right.
Socrates, Aristotle, these guys, they would always have a young person.
That's how we met. I met Amos at 17.
Well, you were my Socrates.
I was 17.
And I just think, like, is that deeply laden inside of us? That because men do look for...
No.
Well, maybe.
For homosexuals, no, actually, I want to backtrack. For
Not in pride.
For pedophiles,
Yeah.
it is in them, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because young people are always seeking sort of an older...
I'm looking forward to when we do the little intro at the beginning of the actual
Amos
thing.
Gill
where we
defends
We'll talk
pedophilia.
about a woman burning a bloke. We're going to talk about how Amos is a pedophile. We're going to talk about a few things here this evening.
No, I'm just saying, like, I've always longed for... I had Greg Fleet. I had yourself. I like an older man to teach you the ways of the business.
Yeah.
Okay?
In work, yeah. But
In
it doesn't
work.
mean we
But
have
at
to
no
fuck
point
you.
did anyone fuck me up the arse.
No.
Yes,
No.
that's because society has told them that it's wrong. But seemingly, in the old days, just wandering
but
around going...
As a heterosexual, see, this is always the argument. Those school teachers that are always hot that shag some 16-year-old boy. And we're like, is it a crime? Like that one, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is obviously there's more of those people out there than you'd fucking think, and it's been going on forever.
I know. I think there's loads of people out there like that, and they're really dangerous.
Really fucking dangerous.
And don't go into safety houses, kids. What other news story you got?
Well, the story I was trying to get to before I don't know how we fucking got there, but I was...
Brought up safety houses.
He
Safety
brought up
houses.
safety houses. That's right. I was trying to do a really nice link.
I'll tell you a funny story about my brother. I think I've told this story before. My brother, like where he goes knock and run.
This
Did I tell you that
iPad
one?
has 2% battery left. I really need to get this out.
Okay, get it out.
I'm sorry. This is how I limit the show now is I use old tech and go, we're running out of time. I need some money. So Tinder is blowing up on every social media app I have. They're saying the number one trending story out there is about Tinder because they have put a height filter on, and short men are fucking furious about this. Because
What do you mean by filter? Like you have to say how tall
yes,
you are?
men are meant to
or-
say how tall they are, and then women can go. You used to be like distance and age, and now you can go distance, age. You can also go 6 foot and under. Don't even shame me.
Yeah, that's not right, though. No, I'm not happy about that.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm 6 foot, but I've always disliked when... Okay, so if you... Look, there's a certain body type of women that I don't like, right?
Yes.
But I don't say it out loud when I'm not on stage, right? Right? But like women, when they just go, oh, I couldn't date a short guy. No. You're like, fuck you, dude. Because if a man goes, no tall chicks,
Yeah.
are we allowed to do that in the app?
Well, we can filter by height too.
We can go shorter?
Yeah, we can all do height.
All right. Well,
But we can't. But weight is the obvious one.
Yeah, let's get on to weight.
Weight, like if we're being honest, but everyone would lie. But if we are going to enter into this,
Or even, how about this one? Did you used to be a bloke? That's like a valid thing now, right?
I would imagine that is on
New
there.
dick, fresh dick. Fresh dick, old dick.
If you did weight,
Normal cunt, shovel cunt.
I'll tell you what, weight is actually
Yeah.
less unkind because height, no one can change that. Weight also does sort of say something about whether you're active, whether you're sort of gluttonous.
And also, how many like great sort of guys are you missing out on in this world who are short, who just have really like...
Well, I'm 5'10", so
Dudley
I'd be
Moore, right?
Yeah.
Dudley Moore was about 5'2". He's one of the most charming cunts that ever lived. Angus Young, 5'2". Rock god.
He's 5'2".
He's 5'2".
Really?
Yeah, fucking rock
That's
god.
why he's able to wear the school kid outfit.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to get it made
Yeah,
custom.
he has a safety house, I've been told.
He just goes to the actual school uniform
Yeah,
shop.
yeah. No, he doesn't have to. He's just buying a year 6 school uniform.
Right. Yeah, so I think it's an interesting one because men are we're piggish about
Prince,
what we want to fuck.
5'4" or something.
Yeah, but
Rock God.
What would you if you went onto the apps? What would you be ruling out? What filters would you want?
I don't. I don't like large hands on a woman. I like a nice petite hands. There's nothing when they touch you with their big hands. You don't want that one. So smallish hands.
Yes.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Like I think I prefer short women. I prefer short women to tall women, but I've had some great relationships with tall women.
So I feel bad. Like I'm obviously, like I said, I'm under 6 foot, so I'd be basically. This is a eugenics app at this point, where you can just you try to create a master race through filters.
Yeah,
where we're going. We just want women to fuck men over 6, and then
are we allowed to comment on breast size? See, I've always hated.
Well, they don't have tit size on there.
Yeah, exactly.
But we obviously do via the visuals. Men will go, "Oh, I want to fuck a chick with big tits," or "I'm not a tit man."
Are you boobs or ass?
I am quality of character.
I'm boobs.
Boobs. No, I'm a leg man.
I'm boobs over. I like it all.
Yeah.
I like it all. There isn't a bit I don't like,
Yes.
except for faces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
Is there a unique part of the body that you're into? You know, there's foot fetishes.
I like boobs. I'm a boob guy. Yeah, I like boobs. Yeah.
I like a nice hand.
You like a hand?
Yeah, I like.
You're
I like
always
a,
going
like
on
a,
about hand jobs as
I
well.
like,
though.
I like a
you always
nice,
like a wristy. You're always wristy. You're always going on about it. That's your big thing. I got a wristy.
Well, I think deep down, if you really like a nice hand, you could always, if times were bad, if you got a pedicure and a manicure, if you got a nice mani, French tips, I could pretend in the dystopian future when we're sharing a bunker that you're a beautiful woman.
Your girlfriend's trying to save you. You're being put inside a pressing machine and she pushes you out of the way, but sadly both of her hands get chopped off.
Well, she's got nubs.
Saving your life. Now she's just got the nubs.
Yeah.
She can put a hook on to do like casual chores and what have you, or to tell you off, or to put like a dildo on the attachments. All attachments. Are you less attracted to her now?
It depends.
She did it to save your life, bro.
I'm not less attractive, but I would want her to get that hand from Happy Gilmore that what's his name, Chubbs has. You know that.
You want just like a rubber hand?
Rubber hand. I just want it with the wooden one that collapses all the time. Or because I like petite too, so maybe just 2 tiny little Barbie hands like Kristen Wiig has in SNL. Those haunting little hands.
Like Trump's hands.
Yeah, those tiny little fucking hands. That's a bit of fun. Or she could get 1 whisk and 1...
and go in the kitchen and make fucking scones.
And get back in the fucking kitchen. That's actually my dream, is a woman... It's like Edward Scissorhands, but with whisks.
Let me whisk you away to Paris.
Because I think about that all the time.
I want a French omelette.
So you know how like OnlyFans is there to satisfy this hole that men don't get?
Yeah.
So women sell sex. Ultimately, in a world where gender roles have gone away, we get sex. Most men, reasonable men are getting some pussy. But what we don't get is essentially
I just saw a tear
housewife.
go down Jack's face. like an Indian looking at a dry riverbed.
My point is, if I was to subscribe to an OnlyFans page, it would just be a woman doing chores.
Yeah.
Like just watching a woman use the Dyson and cook, and I'd go, oh.
You ever driven past those advertisements that are on the side of a bus? They're in LA and it's like naked maids. Oh, yeah. It's just like you can have a naked maid. Now, I've never bought a naked maid. Do they clean or do they just show up naked and you go, oh, that's cool? Like, is it like a strippogram or is it like an escort service or whatever? Because if they do clean, yeah, I'm good with that. Like,
I mean, honestly,
is what I'd want.
If you've got money, mate, just get good naked people and good cleaners. I don't need them muddling the two.
Yeah, but I don't...
It's like the one thing that I'm happy about is when I was a teenager...
Yeah, but why don't have everyone naked except for me?
Oh, that's your
Just
power
a
move?
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
King of the cuck
chair. And then I rub cum into my nipples like Diddy. And watch me on the snake on Fox 5 or something.
That is tough.
That's coming out, man. It's coming out.
I know. All right, well, so your move on this is you don't really mind because listen, I think women are just becoming as shallow as we are.
I've forgotten what we
outwardly.
talked about.
It was about Tinder.
Oh no, I don't like that when they mention when women go, oh, I couldn't go with it. It's the same as when someone says that about people with red hair. Oh, I couldn't do it with a ginger. Just don't say it out loud. And it's like some guy with a little dick. Oh, he's got a little dick. No woman truly knows the size of their vagina. None of us have ever been honest with you, ever. We all go in there and you dirty talk while we're fucking and go, oh, you like that type pussy? And we go, yep.
Yeah. So you're saying none of us are canaries in the flesh mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming out and letting people know what it's like down there.
Exactly. We go in, all women think they have a tight vagina. I've never met one that has gone to me. I know men who go, I got a small dick. I know men who say, I got a small dick. I've never met one woman who's gone, baggy vagina me. Oh, Christ almighty.
Cavernous.
It's like the sails on a pirate ship.
Can you build a sort of like a false cervix to sort of fill it up a bit?
Well, we were talking about this up the
Yeah.
So we were in South Africa.
That's why I led you into it like a pro.
We were in South Africa doing a field piece, and there was a bloke who was an Indian witch doctor. Now that's not racist.
No, not Indian. He's African.
Oh no, African. Sorry, African. That was racist. Say Indian. Yeah, well, no, he said he was a witch doctor, didn't he? No, spiritual healer. But
we kept saying witch doctor behind his back.
He had medicines. He had medicines, and all of his medicines looked like just like roots and sticks and berries and stuff like that. And you boiled them up and you drank some tea.
Yes.
Right? And I said, hey, the hemorrhoids, how do I fix the hemorrhoids? Incidentally, going to the doctor tomorrow, so don't be jealous. Going to get him rubber banded tomorrow.
Are you really?
Yeah, I do it about once a month. I'm getting rubber band, a few injections up the arsehole. That's what I'm up to tomorrow. So busy day.
At this moment.
Busy day.
Yeah, this witch doctor said that he could cure you with a bunch of...
He gave me a bag of sticks and said, drink this, your hemorrhoids will go away. And then he rolled some chicken bones and some dice and went like that. And then he did some things and went, oh, da, 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 da.
He was my profile picture. I took a photo with him. I loved him. So I took a photo with him. He was my profile picture for about 3 years. And he said, I can bring back a woman's virginity.
He did say he could bring back a woman's virginity.
And we said, how do you bring back a woman's virginity? He goes, the husband will bring her to me and I will get a balloon filled with rice and put it in the pussy and it would grip it. And then I will put a smaller balloon and it will slowly grip it.
Balloon is a loose term. These were Hessian sacks, filled with rice. It was very close to cornhole. Very, very close to cornhole.
It was Soweto cornhole.
Yeah. Like you throw it in, that's worth 3 points if you get it in. If it lands around like below the navel, that's just a point.
And he said that after about 2 weeks of him treating these women,
their hymen will come back.
And you know what's crazy about that?
Yeah.
I've kept tabs of this guy because I found him so interesting and charming with these cures. You know where he is now?
Right.
RFK's NIH. He's actually 2IC right now.
Well, he was, and I was like afterwards. I actually,
you can cure AIDS with a shower.
He was like, he was like AIDS getting some beetroot juice or some shit.
Yes.
There was some beets that we had to do
because do you know Jacob Zuma? He was the old Prime Minister of South Africa.
Do you remember the Philippines? And then afterwards, I had the chicken bones and stuff like that. I met a real doctor, and I said, "Does this stuff work?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "You're right. Yep, you're right." Like that, right? Anyway, I said, I'm going to drink the tea for the field piece, right? And he goes, I don't drink it. It's filled with poisons.
Yeah, he said it was hallucinogenic.
He goes, I'd start to hallucinate. I'd start vomiting up everything. And that's how the illness would leave my body.
It will leave the body like that.
These are two new characters.
He also told me some interesting facts about Jacob Zuma. So Jacob Zuma was the president of South Africa.
Yes.
And Jacob Zuma was asked in the United Nations about AIDS. And they said to Jacob, how do you cure AIDS? And he said, when you fuck a woman who has AIDS, make sure to have a hot shower.
Yeah,
if you have a hot shower, you will wash
We've all been there when you've slept with someone questionable and you get in the shower and you really scrub. You ever done that one? Where you're going, I don't know if that was a good choice of life, what I just did here. I'm gonna put in a second lot of soap.
These children do not have running water, which is where they have AIDS. They need more pressure.
Okay.
Hot pressure. I can do that very well.
I know, it's one of your talents.
It's one of my great gifts. I gotta say, I miss going over that trip to Africa.
Yeah.
We had. It was so sick. I actually watched the videos the other day because I got a flashback, the Facebook memories, and it was those women who were widows that guard animals in the
Askasinga.
Yeah, and they've got like that Aussie bloke, the Ashkasinga girls, Aussie bloke who's over there, sort of ex-special forces.
Yeah, he goes down there and he teaches a whole lot of women to kill poachers.
Yeah. if men poach, he gets them to throw gasoline on them and set them on fire.
Do you remember that? Like I tried to walk through the bush without like being caught by one of them, and they were all hiding in the shrubbery
with a ghillie suit on. That was fucking brilliant. Okay, we've got some more stories for you. We've had the Aussie woman set on fire. This is one that I was doing a lot on the weekend, which I enjoyed. Sydney Sweeney, the bombshell.
Yes, Sydney. She's a good-looking girl. I don't know much about her. I actually don't even know if I've seen a movie in it, but I know of her from the internet.
Yeah. So I was in Spokane, Washington, doing comedy, and thanks to everyone who came. I loved like the Pacific Northwest in the summer. Not too crazy about it on the winter.
Lovely lakes, lovely rivers.
Yeah.
Lovely lakes.
Daylight at 4, they got to close the curtains.
Yeah.
Fucked me up a couple of times. But I knew Sydney Sweeney had come from there. So I had high expectations.
That means I'd come over there.
I had high expectations for how the people would look, and it's fair to say she was the exception, not the rule. But I don't want to be too mean to the people of Spokane, but she's an elite beauty. So attractive is she in this era where everything has to be commodified.
Sure.
She's selling her bathwater as soap. So
right, so they freeze it, or they churn it?
She got into it's not butter.
How do you make it into soap?
I don't know how juicy that is.
How do you thicken it?
So she took a bath, and then they're saying, and it's already sold out at $8 a bar, which I think good thing to invest in.
She better have flicked her bean in that bath. If she just did a normal, just rinse off, that's no good.
I don't even know if she. How do we know?
She has to have washed her pits or something.
One of the great jobs in America.
She must have taken one of those rice-filled bean bags out.
No doubt the guys are farting there. Fucking open yourself up. Get it, wash it in there, the pits. So it's sold out. And made soap. Do you want to hear I told you the joke on the phone that
I'd
I was
have
doing.
to eat it because of my swearing.
Well, there'd be a lot of kids in America right now.
Is there still? I'll just keep touching you today. Is there still that? Is that still the thing? You get
Wash
caught
your
swearing as a kid. You wash your mouth out with soap. Jack goes no, but Jack was very loved by his parents and encouraged all the way.
I think that was finished by my time.
No, I never got it either. But I had mates who had gotten it.
Well, just a bar of soap shoved into your throat because you said fuck or something.
Yeah, you just pull your tongue out and they rub the soap, or they get soapy water and you have to go like that. So it tastes gross.
Wow. No, I didn't have that, but I will say...
I'll tell you what, I had it for something else, and it did stop me from sucking cock.
Can I tell you my joke that I did?
Yeah.
It was Sydney Sweeney has made soap out of her bathwater that is sold out, which is crazy because, she's the hottest woman in the world right now, but it doesn't take that long for people to no longer find you attractive.
Sure.
So I said Britney Spears... Her bathwater has been sold as insect repellent, which I thought was mean-spirited. But and then you know what I did as a gag?
Isn't it weird that Britney's become an old lady's name now? Like not old lady, but like a woman late 30s.
For sure.
That used to be the name that I used to use in stand-up for when I was talking about a teenage girl or a 20-year-old girl. It's like, and then Britney came over and Britney this and Britney that. And now it's like you meet a Britney and it's like, so you're a grandmother.
So what I was going to say about that is I was trying to come up with a joke about blah, 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 actress's bathwater has been turned into vodka, right? Like as in she's an alcoholic. There was no modern reference. Lindsay Lohan has cleaned her life up apparently.
People don't drink anymore.
Britney, Winehouse dead.
No one.
Who is the trashy Hollywood celebrity, male or female, who's just a notorious drunk?
People, because of camera phones, if they want to get drunk, they're doing it at home. They can't fall out of their house. Now, I know a couple. I know a few that I'll tell you off air. Privately, who love a tipple. But I don't know of any that go out public. Like, back in the old days...
Elon Musk is going off his fucking head on Cat.
Yeah, but we're talking about girls.
We're talking about girls.
Talking about girls.
Yeah.
No, I don't know any trashy drunk girls that are famous.
Look,
I know a couple, but none that are on the outs.
When was that era, though? That was like mid-2000s?
No, early 2000s, right up until camera phones. Camera phones ruined it. Before that, the paparazzi used to wait out the front of nightclubs. Now the paparazzi is just the public. That's the paparazzi. It's the public. And so now it's not like, I know there's still people that sort of get near cars and stuff like that, but for the most part, upskirting. Remember that?
That was a socially accepted thing that magazines would buy pictures of girls' pussies getting out of a car. That's our society.
There was a magazine that women all over Britain bought called Heat magazine. And Heat was a gossip magazine, and Heat came out every week. And I did not date one woman who didn't purchase Heat magazine. Right. It was always seated like next to the toilet. We used to have magazines next to the toilet, kids. That's what we did. We'd read things on the toilet. Now it's our phone that is obviously covered in shit feces. Fecal matter. What's wrong with me? I've had a stroke. Anyway, Heat magazine had a section in Heat magazine that women bought, and it was called Circle of Shame.
Right.
Circle of Shame was when they found women or any celebrity that had something wrong with them that day, maybe a little sweaty pit mark. Circle of Shame. You made the magazine. I remember Sarah Jessica Parker.
hair.
Sarah Jessica Parker had really veiny hands. Something she can't help. Very veiny hands.
Yes.
They closed up and they Circle of Shame. I remember James Bond. That cunt, he had a brand new pair of shoes and they still had the price tag on the sole. Circle of Shame.
You see, but
Circle of
it's,
Shame.
you see,
That one's all right. That one doesn't hurt your feelings too much.
You see, it's men who gave women unfair body expectations.
But they would
isn't it?
all read, like, how dare they have a section of a magazine called Circle of Shame?
Well, we could probably bring shame back a little bit, though.
Google Heat magazine Circle of Shame. Let's see if what we can get up.
I'll find something. Well, while Jack does that, I want to do a quick thing with you about people selling body parts because this generation has Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Yeah.
My generation, unfortunately, had Gwyneth Paltrow's candle that smelled like a pussy, which wasn't as good.
That only just came out though.
That was about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, but
Maybe
your
more.
generation.
Well, she was in Marvel movies and whatnot. But I had an idea to do some research off the back of this, which was
She's as old as me.
what body parts from famous people have sold. Okay, so I'm going to go through them with you. I'll get your take on them.
Okay.
So this is a list called Top 10 Selling Body Parts Belonging to Famous. Coming in at number...
You can buy Elvis's hair at auction at the moment. It's on.
Elvis's hair, yes.
Yeah, Elvis's hair.
Napoleon Bonaparte's penis.
He was a short man. He wouldn't have done well on Tinder.
It was those rejections that gave him the desire to conquer the little course.
What do you reckon his song would have been on like Raya, like when he was showing pictures of himself? I reckon Waterloo by ABBA.
I'm not sure that was his Circle of Shame, Waterloo.
Did you get any Circle of Shame, Jack?
So Napoleon Bonaparte's penis, it says its size is shriveled. It's currently at 1.5 inches long.
Oh, well, still beating most of us.
Not bad. But its value has grown to a colossal proportion. It's sold as the so-called Vignali collection of Napoleonic relics for $800 in 1924, and it remains in private ownership. So ownership now would be, what would you pay for Napoleon's penis?
But the fact that it's been passed down from generation to generation, if it was 1924, we got 3 generations of penis here.
They want it for $100,000 right now.
No, you bloody tell them his dream. And that can't be worth more than
this
60
could be our
grand.
new segment, tell them their dream. And
can't be worth more than 60 grand.
Number 2, Albert.
If you got it in conjunction with something else.
Well, there was also the other...
With his hat.
With a mini hat to put
Yeah,
on
you
the
got
mini
the hat
penis.
and the penis, so you can lift the hat up and then show the shriveled up penis.
Coming in at number 2 is Albert Einstein's eyeballs.
Didn't he wear glasses? I can't remember. He felt like a type of bloke that would have worn glasses.
No, his eyes were always popping when he was in that thing with his... Yeah. Most people know that Einstein's brain was pilfered at his autopsy in Princeton, New Jersey in 1955. But few realise his eyeballs were also removed and spirited away by his ophthalmologist, Dr. Henry Abrams, who has kept them in a jar in his dresser for decades. When you look into his eyes, he's quoted as saying, "You're looking into the beauties and mysteries of one of the smartest men that's ever lived." Abrams is now 96 and lives in Beach Haven, Jersey Shore. Albert Einstein's eyes have to forever look at the dumbest cunts on earth at the Jersey Shore. It's a cruel irony for
watching
him.
people fist pump.
He's got those eyes just looking at Snooki. And fucking, what was that guy that ended up DJing? Paulie D.
Paulie D in the situation. What's your problem with Jersey Shore, man?
I'm just saying, I don't think Albert Einstein's resting place for his eyes for eternity, he would have hoped were at the Jersey Shore.
I tell you, the Jersey Shore kids, 20 years on, they've still got TV shows. More power to them.
Number 3, Che Guevara's hair.
Yeah, he's one of these historical characters that I know more from the T-shirt than from any reading.
Yeah, I often find there's always a lot of modern communists who are fat and out of shape and have the Che shirt on. You think you would have been the first killed in his purge, but I don't think Che would have looked at... He would have been like, this guy's not going to pull his weight in the revolution. But nonetheless, lost on them. Number 4, Beethoven's ear bones.
Why is his ear bones?
Stolen at autopsy.
He was deaf.
There's a lot of stealing in autopsies back in the day. A lot of people just... A famous person was dead and then you'd go, I'm going to get into the hospital, see what I can grab.
When I die,
I guess there was grave digging was big in the
make
day.
sure they don't steal my penis. They can steal my eyes.
Because that's your circle of shame?
Yeah. It's just a weird looking thing.
Nub.
Yeah. The circumcision was uneven.
Well, Beethoven's ear bone is purchased by the University of California.
And that's dum.
Galileo's finger.
Oh, yeah. He went that way.
Yeah. Fragments of Abraham Lincoln's skull.
Yeah,
well,
although
that's
you can't get it complete, can you?
Well, that's why it's fragments. John Wilkes Booth's family have that somewhere.
You can't have just the whole skull.
Yeah, it's on John Wilkes Booth's lapel.
Was he shot in the head? He feels like, like a hole in the head. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he was shot in the head, yeah.
English military leader Oliver Cromwell's head is purchasable. President Grover Cleveland's jaw lesions. Romantic poet Shelley's heart is available. Author of the book Frankenstein. And then this one's an interesting one. John Lennon's tooth.
Right.
Feels like something that you would purchase if you...
Like Elvis's hair's up at the moment. John Lennon's tooth, I'm not that fast. I haven't kept my own children's teeth, let alone John Lennon's teeth. I know that my ex has kept some of the baby teeth of Hank, which I found really creepy. So maybe make a necklace or something.
Like a shark one.
Well, kids' teeth are fucking... You ever seen a child's skull? You can never look at a child the same way.
Only in those Australian safe homes where they're displayed like a hunting lodge.
Google child skull. I'm about to change your life. I can't watch it, but it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
Oh yeah, it's like a kid's coffin is one of the worst things to look at.
Okay. Oh boy. Look, no. There we go. There.
Oh, because they've got double teeth.
The double teeth. The double teeth is so fucking off-putting. Look at it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's fucking
ever since I saw that, I can't look at my kids the same. I'm just like this, you and your weird. No, it's upsetting. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you want to Google it, but the double teeth.
Well, maybe that's why they get targeted by, because if you're a relic collector from
so the bones grow. And
if you're an outside species that hunted us, you'd think that's the scariest creature in the human race. You wouldn't know.
It's too much teeth. Yeah. Too many teeth.
What was it? I was going to say.
You're born with all your teeth.
What was I
didn't
saying
know that. I thought you made them or something. You thought them up.
What? There was a new calcium deposit that just popped through. No.
Yeah, I thought that. I didn't know that the other ones were pushing the other. Like it's not good.
Oh fuck! What was it?
When they're babies, they're all teeth. Their whole head's teeth.
Oh, I was going to think I had something I wanted to talk. What were we talking about before we brought up the haunting teeth?
I'll read your notes.
No, I've
Tinder,
touched on those.
Russian drone attack. There we go. Let's talk about that. That'll be good. From kids' teeth to Russian drone attack. Some of these Russian kids won't see at Christmas. What happened is the Ukraine, from what I gather, sent a drone attack onto Russia, and did they get rid of 30% of the Russian military?
Well, some people say that's propaganda. Some people say it's correct. Either way, it was a very successful mission that blew up a lot of their long-range bombers.
It was basically like a Pearl Harbor-like attack, right? Like it was getting rid of all their ships and trying to get rid of their bombers and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And now Putin has gone on to
I'm a little scared. Because Putin is bringing out it's called the Oreshnik missile, which he released in November.
But he'll drop that on the Ukraine before he drops it on us.
Well, yeah, I don't want the Ukrainians to be slaughtered either.
No, I don't want anyone to be you. But you rang me up and you went, a bit scared. We're close.
We have
the LA's where they'll get first. They'll get Los Angeles first.
I mean, I don't want to be selfish here, but it's just like
just move to Austin. Just do it.
I just want a European summer.
Don't try to give me a reason. I'm not doing it because a certain podcaster has made me. I'm just.
Listen, I just want my European summer. Don't take that from me. And if he is going to attack,
I tell you what, if he drops it, you'll have European summers for fucking ever. That's what you'll have.
No, winter.
Oh, what is it? Oh, I thought it got really hot underneath the flames.
It gets hot quickly. It's a minute summer and a very long winter.
Right. We're all going to feel like we said the comment about scones.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got to get rid of this picture of the child's skull.
It's upsetting.
It is very, very upsetting. Okay, this is what I wanted to go. Jack, just give me a second here because I.
Give me the circles of shame you sent there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Give me the circles of shame. That's the cover.
Cellulite.
That's the cover. Beyonce had cellulite 20 years ago, and they've put a circle around it with a light. Don't panic. Famous people get it too. They're trying to just say those people are just like us. Bloody mean spirited Heat magazine.
The target market of this is there's some working class English lass who's 140 kilos because she just eats horrendous amounts of pork pies all day.
She eats Monster Munch as a snack all the time.
I was feeling really down about myself the other day, and I fucking saw that Beyonce has a tiny bit of cellulite, and I thought, we're the same, me and Beyonce. I feel pretty.
Yeah, well, that was every week. That was one that they started doing the front covers.
Best and worst beach bodies 2004.
Yeah, Heat magazine. If there's a woman in Britain from 2000 to 2007 who says she didn't buy Heat magazine, oh fucking no way in the world. They all had it.
So you need to answer this because you were there at this time.
Yeah.
Never mind Circles of Shame. There's something on this magazine cover that blows me away. What the fuck was Jordan all about?
Okay, Jordan
Because Americans, you guys say Jordan.
You think Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Brits, I still think you say Jordan. It's a 50-50 split if it's this woman. Explain
Okay, Jordan was a page 3 model. Now, page 3 models, if you don't know what's going on in America, right, in Britain, on the third page, so as soon as you open a newspaper, the first page you looked at after that, the third page would have a topless woman. This would be in reputable newspapers. This happened in Australia right up until the 80s. You would get a topless woman on the third page, and they'd be called a page 3 girl. Then once they got rid of them out of the newspapers, they started to have lads mags. Lads mags with things like Zoo and Nuts. I worked for one of them. I used to write columns.
Yes.
It was the midpoint. It was before OnlyFans, and they weren't porn stars. They were just birds with banging tits. Lucy Pinder. Keely Hazel, Michelle Marsh. Have a Google, boys. You're welcome. Right?
These were just women who were probably fucking Manchester United players.
They all fucked Premier League players. That was their whole thing. They all dated Premier League players, and they were called page 3 models. Now, Jordan, most of the page 3 models in the good magazines, you had to have real tits. If you're in the Sun or something, or the Mirror, you used to have real breasts. But if you're but if you're in Star magazine, that was the whole thing about Pinder, Hazel, and all that. They all had real boobs, right? And like Samantha Fox back in the day, all real boobs, right? And then there was the trashier magazine, which was the Daily Sport, was a big one.
Yes.
Right? And it had Jordan in it. And Jordan just had the big balloon tits. And she was this model called Jordan, right? Jordan went on to be in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
But they were like size F fakes or something, right?
Yeah, they were big round basketball things.
But she never went.
She had a bit of a nice face to her. She's a bit older now, but she had a nice face to her. In fact, I saw her on a billboard for a strip club in New York when I was last there, and I was like, "That's Jordan," and people don't even know. It's something called Dances.
Oh, her name's Kate. She goes by Katie Price.
Katie Price. And
did she ever have like a billionaire boyfriend, or
she dated Peter Andre,
who's an Aussie?
Peter Andre, who was in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here with her. Right, who sang the song "Mysterious Girl," just close to you. That one, right?
So let me ask you a question:
She was covered in fake tan.
Who would you prefer to have one evening with, and you can do anything?
Peter Andre,
Jordan, UK, or Jordan, America?
What, the shag?
You've just got 24 hours to do with whatever.
Oh no, I'd rather Jordan UK.
Really?
You still fun girls going to be like, what are we doing?
You get a full 24 hours with Michael Jordan at his prime.
No, what am I going to talk to him about? He was mean to Luke Longley, wasn't he? No.
You wouldn't shoot hoops with Michael Jordan?
I wouldn't.
Play golf,
I don't want to because he'd be too competitive and you don't want to meet your heroes. She's not my hero, man. She's not my hero.
You're allowed to root him in the ass.
All right, Michael Jordan.
That's a story. It's a story.
Yeah. And then when I'm shagging,
but look how gross
then
that
when I'm
era
shagging
was.
him up the bum and he farts out, I'll go, ooh, Air Jordan.
Like this era of British women.
They were bloody good. They were good sorts.
It's so borderline blackface.
Oh, mate.
It's more Spanish face.
I used to have as dark a bed sheets as I could have because you'd shag British women and your bed sheets would look like the Shroud of Turin. Yeah. Right? You would just have this
the Shroud of Tyneside.
Yeah. It was just fake tan and you could see the body shape of them on the actual bed. Now they all did it. They all did the fake tan. All of them did the fake tan. And the further north you went, the browner the people got. The more Oompa Loompas, the orange.
And so anyway, obviously, the reason we bring this up is because there was a Russian drone attack. So
yeah,
that's how we handle the news here.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and that's what's happening at this moment.
You legitimately give me minute Alzheimer's where I find myself talking about something and I go, "What the fuck was it? What happened?" I was talking about.
You got to come back. You got to be able to come back to the story.
I know I'm a bad host because I looked down and went Oreshnik missiles, and I just did not know how to reconcile those two topics.
No, and then we showed.
But we've got nothing to say about this.
We showed
It's
a cover.
just horror.
Okay, so Russia sorted out.
You reported something out.
Circle of Shame.
And in the,
Oh yeah, yes.
Circle of Shame, and then there was a picture of Jordan.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Everyone now is Googling Jordan.
Oh, as you should.
And also, my comedy special's coming out, so I'd like everyone to Google Ted
touch that.
Danson blackface. Just so you can be ready for the special. So you're in. You're in.
Yeah.
Little background work.
I don't know how long we've gone, Jack, but I've got... Okay, so I'd like to talk about this topic as well, which is about AI. It's about the future. It's about Palantir. Do you know what Palantir is?
I know what a palindrome is.
Palantir is Peter Thiel's company, which it's fair to say if you pay attention to MAGA world,
I do.
yeah, right-wing world, a lot of very unhappy people right now with the Trump administration. Many saying that MAGA has been a psyop, just like Hope and Change was for the left wing. You know, Barack Obama comes in 2008, Hope, Change, end the wars, and then first thing he sort of does is bail out the bankers and then allow them to pay bonuses. And many people were like, oh no, you're just a deep state operator and you didn't actually help people out.
Right. So as a Trump supporter,
I'm not
how do you... Who would have you voted for?
Well, I think there's two bad options. And the problem is...
Yeah, I knew that, and I had to vote for one of them.
I told you I would have voted for Bernie.
I would have voted for Bernie as well. We would have agreed on that.
A lot of people are saying that Donald
I would have
Trump...
voted for Jordan. Him or her.
Either.
Yeah.
He's passed this big, beautiful bill. And Elon Musk has been a part of the administration at the beginning with Doge. And it was all about cutting government waste, government spending. Now, just because Elon and Trump are toxic, a lot of people on the left have obviously been like, oh, it's ridiculous. Why are they making these cuts? This is unfair cuts. We need these programs. But I think we can all agree, anyone who knows anything about government at all in every country knows there's a lot of fucking fraud and waste and a lot of grifters who get government contracts. He included.
Yes.
Okay? And that looks like that's failed because the big, beautiful bill has passed and Elon has walked away and today he's fucking snapped and said he can no longer hold his tongue and the bill that was passed through is fucking shameful and that people should feel ashamed.
Why is it shameful?
Because it adds to the debt. So the national debt, and I've lost my bloody info, that's what I had up. The debt has gone from like 2 trillion to like 180 trillion. These numbers that make no sense.
What? In the last
Hold
100
on.
days?
No. Since 2000. So let me get up. Let me get up the data.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
I thought it was in the last 100 days.
So
Oh, that's all right then. So you're saying in the last 25 years? What are you going to do?
here we go. This is what he wrote.
We'll pay it back.
We're
We're good.
good.
Yeah.
The debt now is 36.2 trillion. Sorry, and Elon wrote, and he's kept his mouth shut since he left. Remember when he
Is
was
that
there
the new
with a black
Tesla?
eye?
Oh, it looks all right.
That's his robo taxi. That's his Waymo.
Robo
that's
taxi.
coming, yeah.
Okay, they've got to stop with gull wing doors, right? Doors that slide up. There's only one door, the one that pulls that way. I've tried all the other ones. My whole life as a kid, I wanted a gull wing door. I've got a gull wing door. I fucking hate the thing with the passion.
It's not a DeLorean.
Just a regular, or just weld them up like the General Lee, and I'll get in through the window.
Okay, Jack, can I start this segment again now?
Yeah.
Because I said so many mistruths.
Yeah, you were not going to edit it out for you.
Edit it out for me.
No. How many billions are we into?
Okay, let me start from the beginning. So, Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. You'd heard of this.
We're not editing around that.
I have to
I
edit
did a
around
good
that.
joke about the General Lee. So
The what?
just tell us.
The what?
You wouldn't understand. It's my generation.
American.
Yeah, Jack gets it because he's an historian.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a good
In
old
the year
boy.
2000, the US budget deficit was 236
Wouldn't
billion.
change if they could.
Now it's 1.83 trillion, and this
Yeah,
bill
but
is,
what are you going to do about
well,
it?
this bill is going to take it to even higher heights, potentially like 6.75. Now,
Does that mean our dollar goes down?
Well, of course.
Does it mean
because
Bitcoin goes up?
You either have to be
Is
taxed.
Bitcoin going up?
You either have to be taxed,
Yeah.
or the government has to print or borrow more money. And then
Yeah.
when they print more money, the buying power goes down. That's why I, as a holder of gold, I bet against
You
the
hold
econ-
gold?
I'm a gold person.
Yeah, that's just a fucking Casio watch, mate.
It's real. This is the way that this is all my wealth is stored in this Casio.
Yeah, look at
it
it.
might look like an $80 timekeeping device,
Yeah. you,
but this is my family's future.
you should do adverts on Fox News. Gold. It's always been around and it always will be. That's why I put my money in gold.
Look at those laces, mate. Everything I got, I'm all gold because the dollar ain't worth shit.
Yeah. What he does is he actually pans Grolschlager. Get the flakes out. Is it called Grolschlager?
Gosh, yeah.
Grolschlager.
Okay, so Elon today said this. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous pork-filled congressional bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it.
Wait a minute. Shame on the people who voted for Trump then. You know you did wrong. You know it.
Well,
Have you met anyone who voted for Trump who's now gone, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was shit. It was dumb.
No, I know a lot of people who are saying we hoped that Donald Trump would push back against the deep state. A lot of talk about, ending wars, ending, military spend.
My father, who couldn't vote, who loves Trump, who would bring him up at any opportunity he could bring him up, just to shit stir at dinner parties or backstage at one of my gigs. He would shit stir people. Oh, and he does a little dance. My dad thought that was hilarious. Now my dad's like this. It's best not to watch it really, and just let things happen how they're going to happen.
I know, but this is the point I'm trying to make.
He's backtracking so badly.
Is what you realise is that...
And all I have as a person who didn't vote for Trump is gloating that this is going badly. Where I'd prefer it was going well, of course. Yeah. But all I have is, you fucking idiots.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that
He loves him.
I don't love him.
You do love him.
I'm saying he's pulled it. There's been a deep state trick on everyone. All these people that were about governments, like we need to cut spending.
We must have footage of him where he says he loves him. There must be some historical footage somewhere.
I only know it from you saying that he loves it. I haven't heard him say it.
He used to call him Teflon Don. He fucking loved it.
Because he got shot and survived. Listen, there's lots of Donald Trump that I find engaging and funny.
Okay.
The thing I said about Donald Trump...
It's easy.
Do you know how hard it is to get a nuanced take on Trump when you interrupt every 8 seconds?
It's easy to love Trump when all your wealth is in the Casio.
Okay? If I really loved the US economy, I wouldn't hold gold in a watch.
Your stock market isn't going up and down. Your stock market, you're like this, you're me like this. The stock market's down. Hasn't affected me at all. Okay, carry on.
No, when the stock market collapses, I enjoy it because I have nothing and I get to, for a day, just
be the same as others.
That I beat you fuckers who have wealth. Okay?
Your whole life's the Great Depression.
My point is that obviously Trump's rhetoric was a lie. Obviously Barack Obama's rhetoric was a lie. And you realise...
Anybody who takes this job is full of shit.
Of course. And
it's
so
full of shit.
I'm saying my generation is having its black pill moment potentially of turning off and realising...
Isn't it called a red pill? When did you make it a black pill?
No, black pill... Red pill is going, I'm aware of all the issues. Black pill is going... Even though we know these issues exist, they'll never, ever, ever, ever be dealt with, and that the oligarchs and the powerful have ruled forever. And the idea that you think you're going to affect some fucking change because you vote someone in is insane. So you're best off just dealing with your own family and focusing on your own fucking life.
Get as many guns as you can.
Young people look at old people and go, how come they're so disengaged with politics? Don't they care? And you realise they did once. For them, it was the Jimmy Carter presidency and they thought the world was going to change. And then it fucking didn't.
I don't know. I
and
find
so
old people are more into politics. My father gets worse and worse with every year.
Yeah.
He gets worse and worse with every year.
Well, that's because he's alone.
I do also think the older you are, the less your vote should count. We should,
because it doesn't have as much weight for the future.
If you're not going to last a full administration... You can't
but this
vote.
is the thing
also,
I want to get to.
If you kill a person, you should only have to serve the years they have left on their life. So
Right,
you
so
kill
you
a
kill
newborn baby, 75 years. Right? We'll give it just an average right?
Yeah, I'm not sure I can stand.
You kill an 85-year-old, you get a good talking to.
So if I killed Forrest, what would I do? 3 years?
Yeah, no, because everyone gets because he could turn it around, and you've stopped him from turning it around. And if he dies in 3 years, I'm going to play this back and we'll have a laugh.
No, okay. I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught in this boring shit about is Trump doing good or bad. Let me get this bit out.
Yeah.
Because what really worries me.
Let me guess. Oligarchs.
Oligarch.
He loves saying oligarchs.
Oligarch.
No, it's
Fat
those
cats.
things you put on skateboards to protect it. An oligarch.
From doing ollies.
Yeah.
Is that what is a little bit crazy at the moment, which worries me a lot, okay, is that Palantir, which is Peter Thiel's company, which is a data collection service.
They make those sandwiches in the press, right?
It's the panini tier.
Ah, paneer.
Yeah. Panera bread.
Well, they're good too.
Sometimes I go, why do I? No, because there's no...
All right, come on. So there's a sandwich press.
I literally...
Circle of shame.
I'm just like, I'm going to bring up like digital ID tracking and then Jim's going to go,
Why did I become Forrest?
What I need to track is my hemorrhoids. Is there an arsehole tracker? There is an arsehole tracker. It's called Reddit. They're all arseholes on there. All right, we'll be right back.
You can actually follow me from the red spots.
You're Hansel and Gretel.
Someone to track me wouldn't take very hard. Oh, he's tried to push it back in here. You can see a red hand up against the tree.
A bloodhound.
He's come down here. He's stumbled. Oh, he's eating a Philly cheesesteak right here. That'll make it worse. No fibre.
So anyway, Trump rules.
That's that show Tracker with the good-looking guy. The episode where I get lost. All right, so
So anyway, here's my point.
here we go. Yeah,
Here's my point.
yeah, I'm ready.
Short men on Tinder. Let's go back to the old gold. No.
Is that why Putin's
No.
upset? Is it?
So what I mean to say is there's short men on Tinder. We've got dating sites that have all your biometric data.
Yep.
So sexually, all your data's logged. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Palantir wants every piece of information about Americans to track you where you go. Face ID services. So it'll be sold as security, which is we'll know everything about everyone, where they are at all times, a database, tax records, religion, everything. And the government has that.
They won't know about my hemorrhoids, will they?
Now, no doubt you'll have your medical history there.
God.
So they'll know.
But I've never mentioned them before.
And I think a lot of people thought, well, Donald Trump's meant to be fighting against this sort of overreach and the deep state. And ultimately, he's been commandeered by it because they would have sold it to him as it'll help you get rid of illegal immigrants. That's the backdoor in because we'll know where they are at all times.
He's
okay?
just inside trading. That's his whole thing. It's the Phillies pockets, man. That's his main thing. Is the Phillies pockets.
But I don't. This is what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care about all these
rid
things.
of black air traffic controllers. There's these two things.
And midgets.
Yeah. You don't want a dwarf air traffic controller.
But ultimately, what terrifies me is
You can make a plane crash by just sitting on the side of the chair and going.
there was a paper a long time ago that spoke about China's control. You know, like I feel like my history professor at the kindergarten.
Okay, so there was China's
I can't be
control.
fucked.
China's
I'm just
control.
saying China is a state-controlled
You're upsetting me,
organisation. You get a social credit score
Yeah.
where you don't get access to money, you don't get access to certain things because you get a social credit source system. Cameras are constantly watching your every behaviour. It's a full Orwellian state. We all know that. But guess what? It helps them manage. Full control of people helps you manage. Freedom, autonomy in people's lives, people doing all sorts of crazy shit, very difficult to compete against a place like China.
Right, so you
we're
pour
becoming
gasoline
them.
over someone, light them.
There's records of that
Your
forever.
credit rating goes down.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And you're never
Fire
allowed to get
hazard.
you walk into a store, they don't let you buy matches because that's on your record.
Yeah, she has to wear mitts at all time.
Yeah. And Donald Trump's allowed that to happen. So that's obviously going to piss off a lot of his base because he was meant to be fighting against this idea of tech overreach. And then he's sort of let these wolves in because he's got all the tech bros there. They're going to get the contracts. And so my question to you is eventually going to be, with AI coming in the next few years where we lose all of our jobs, it's definitely
I
happening.
don't like the AI porn. I've given it a go. I don't like it. Well, you just said AI coming, and I just made the link.
That went there. With AI coming, and we know that a lot of jobs will be gone. With all of the cities with complete surveillance systems,
Yeah.
is it the right move now to read the tea leaves
Yeah.
and try and get in with the Amish? Because I look at what's coming with a future dystopia and I think I would probably rather go Amish at this point than live in the futuristic world that we're getting to.
Technology,
now, I tried to get to that point 8 minutes ago, but it took a long time.
I thought we went too far with the internet, right? People being able to, the freedom of speech on the internet where people could write anything they want about people and people could hound kids at school. And I thought we went too far with that, right? Now we're going much, much further than that. When do you think technology was at its peak?
Well,
I'm going to say the Atari.
I wrote something in my phone the other day. I wrote this in the middle of the night.
Space Invaders was enough, wasn't it?
I said this. I want to be Amish, but always trapped in 2003. So
You could go to an internet cafe and send an email if needed.
GPS.
Yeah.
I think GPS was good.
Yeah, but GPS was quite expensive then. It wasn't affordable. You didn't have the
TomTom.
TomTom. The TomTom, that was pre-TomTom.
Really?
TomTom was like $700-800, and then TomTom got down to like 150 quid.
Yeah. But I think the
So
GPS was good, even though you can be tracked with it. But ultimately, it did help us a lot.
Also, 2006, I had a level of celebrity where I could meet girls. So 2006, 2003, I was nothing.
Because
I was hardly paying my rent.
Wouldn't you love a society? So what I thought about with the Amish is, at some point, the Amish were just like everyone. And then
they never were. They were a religious cult.
No, but they were very religious. But people were also much more religious back then. And so the point where the Amish started to look different, so clothing started changing and they kept it plain black basics. They say it's around when the tractor and the car was invented that the Amish were noticeably different other than being more religiously intense.
Right.
Because other farmers got the tractors, they got the cars, which meant that they travelled around more, and the Amish just stayed in their community. And so, Like, that's why they now look so weird to us, is we've advanced so much, but they stayed there. I really think I would rather go backwards at this point than the future. Or am I being a doomer? Do you like the idea of the future?
The internet's come out, but it's still going.
Not on your phone.
That's the peak. That was the peak of life. You could get porn, but you had to work for it. You had to sit at the computer and watch the photo download over days, and then you could have a wank, maybe.
Yeah, you'd want to make sure you're attracted to all members.
I remember living in England and LimeWire. Do you remember LimeWire?
Yeah, Pirate Bay, LimeWire.
LimeWire was the only way to get porn. You'd wake up in the morning and say, "Let's see what we caught."
Like a dragnet.
Yeah. You'd go through and then some of it, oh, that's horrendous gay porn. Oh, no.
But if I went to the Amish and got in, like,
Yeah.
do you know?
You wouldn't get in.
Are you allowed in?
You wouldn't get in.
That's what I mean. Do they accept
you?
you?
Because I feel like they're a quiet society, or are they always talking? Do they have quiet times? You're not good with your hands. You couldn't build anything with wood. I'm the son of a carpenter.
Well, you can't do shit all.
Hey, we didn't the son of a carpenter tour. You don't know about this, right? The couple that walked out.
Where?
I'm in Tampa. I'm on stage. This couple stands up and just goes, "This is." I had one of my favourite gigs of all time in Tampa. Hands down. I even texted you. I said,
Right.
I had a great gig. And this couple stood up and went, oh, throwing their hands up in the air. And they got in the foyer. And then there was a few yelling and mutterings in the foyer. They thought it was going to be a religious play.
Oh, no.
They thought Jim Jefferies, the son of a carpenter, they were coming along to see, like, me go, so my mum was inseminated by an angel. I can tell you she was a virgin for sure.
My dad, Joseph, was a great man.
Yeah, a bit of that. Like, he wanted me to be a carpenter, but I knew I was
Destined
for bigger
for
things. Yeah, destined for bigger things. Although, at the end, when I had to make that cross, it did come in handy.
I was able to criticize the Romans' work.
Yeah, he didn't just nail it. It was a dovetail joint, that. Anyway, so they stormed out because they thought it was a religious play. Now, this is the bit that bothers me.
Yeah.
They stayed all the way through Forest.
Okay, well,
They
Forrest
got 10 minutes into me and they went, oh, no, he's not going to mention Jesus at all.
Well, Forrest talks about his gambling addiction or something on stage, doesn't he?
But he
So
still
it's not-
talks about fucking chicks and stuff. He's not tepid.
So my point is, you think they wouldn't let me in?
No, I don't think you would be allowed in the Amish. I don't think the Amish community would welcome you with your blingy watch and your fucking your greasy hair. You need to have a beard and be called something like two names, like John Michael.
Well, that's and I would be a poison to them because I'd get in there and I'd start saying to the women, you'd be like, are you sure you want to wear that? He makes you wear that, and they'd go, this guy's a fucking virus to our society.
You'd come in like this, all feministic. You'd come in like this. Maybe we should have a vote. What do you reckon?
100%.
Everyone could have a go.
Yeah, because like I looked into this. There's a housing crisis for young people.
Yeah.
There's a feeling of being isolated away on your screens, and a lot of us can feel it, and we know we don't want to go forward, but we have to move forward. We're part of society.
Right.
Young people want to live in big cities. We can't afford to. That's why I always think
You live in a big city.
we live in a big city, but we don't live well. Like we
Also,
pay
you're-
for rent.
You're not that young anymore.
I'm getting older,
You'll be old before you know it.
But I
Happens to us
I was
all,
thinking about
except for me.
why don't young people around my age, we should just move to a small town like the Amish and set up a new society
Yes, this is
with
how,
each other.
This is how cults are made. Yes.
This is what
Just
I'm
like a
looking
new
for.
world, like
Where there's cheap real
like
estate.
called Jonestown, and we all work on the land, and we have it all good.
Sugar-free Kool-Aid and no red dye in the Kool-Aid.
Okay, it wasn't brand name Kool-Aid. Flavor Aid.
Are you looking after our sponsors?
Kool-Aid, you can advertise with us whenever you want.
It was never
We
that-
don't blame you for Jonestown.
Like, okay, Jack, you're around my age.
17 or something,
Yeah.
isn't he? 14.
We're trying to live in Los Angeles, like, because people will go, I can't afford to live in New York or Los Angeles. It's like, yeah, you can't afford to live in the grandest cities in the world. You gotta go west, as they would say by the village people.
It's out to the water.
Go to new places, start your own society, maybe go tech free. And
Maybe-
would we have a happier life if we stripped it back?
Of course. My father always said, he goes, one day you'll be flying over the desert, and when they'll look down, there'll be all these computers in the desert, and they'll go, well, what were they? What were they? That's what he'd always say. He'd say it like he really predicted this. And I'm like, how are they flying the plane?
Yeah.
Got to be a computer involved somewhere.
Well, it's
surely,
the-
like, I know the
the
Wright
old-looking
the Wright
computers.
brothers didn't use a computer. So you go back to like you're in a Red Baron plane. That must have been when the Red Baron planes came out in World War One, and they went, "We're going to have guys in aeroplanes fucking fighting each other."
with their own pistols.
Just with their heads sticking out the top of the aeroplane. That was the height of technology. Who was the first bloke to go? I'll give that a go. I'll do submissions.
What was the Red Baron's name?
The Red Baron.
Yeah.
Red Baron. Wasn't that a
Manfred von Richthofen?
Yeah, Red Baron.
Manfred von Richthofen.
Red Baron. That's a woman on a period who can't have kids.
I needed an accent, and we might have found it, maybe.
Which is hard because she still gets a period, but they're useless.
You get all of the moods without end of the life potential.
Little ghost periods.
Well, I'm not sure. Is there anything you wanted to discuss?
I think that's good.
I wanted to talk about your son, but
no. He's downstairs.
Is that for another time?
No, he's downstairs.
Can I talk about your son's baseball? No, we'll do that. We'll do that another. We'll do that another. Yeah, I'll give you. I'll give you this one to finish, which I just thought was amazing. Kids baseball, kids sports, and I know we started this episode with pedophilic remarks.
Sure.
I have been attending
Why
kids
not
sports.
end it with it?
Why not end it? We circle.
Yeah.
I went and watched Jim's son's baseball with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was a little league final. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was one of the best games of sport
just
you'll ever
because
see.
sport is so commercialized that when you go and watch kids who are playing with their mates around the age of 12, once they can actually play enough, like they're not dog shit at it.
Yeah.
There was
Turn and double plays, home runs, real baseball.
other kids shouting their names. Now, I'm not going to say the real kid's name because you told me that's inappropriate. Let's say the kid's name is Frankie.
Yeah.
He's a notorious big hitter. He steps up to home plate, right? And he's getting ready to hit. And all these kids rush because they know he's the king. And they're all going, Frankie, 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 Frankie. And he's a big kid. There's always a kid that's almost that puberty before the others.
Yeah.
And he's tonking this ball. And I'm watching with my girlfriend.
He hit 2 home runs the other game.
And she turns to me and she goes, she can tell that everyone loves Frankie and everyone's talking about Frankie. She goes, do you think Frankie noticed me? She goes, do you think, because I did my hair like different today, do you think Frankie would have seen it? And I laughed. I thought that was a good one from you. Later that night, we're in bed and I'm off to sleep. I wake up. She's still awake and I go, why can't you sleep? She goes, I'm just thinking about Frankie. Do you think he knows my name? And I thought that was so fun, but I thought if I couldn't have said that about a girl's ballet performance. You know?
Oh yeah, no. You
Like
can't.
I couldn't do that gag. Little Michelle, oh, she's quite the swan.
Yeah, it's like I used to have that joke with Hank where the lady at the gymnasium, like Kate used to go to the gym and there was the lady in the daycare and she goes, "Here comes my boyfriend. Here he is." And then she'd hold him and go, "Mwah, mwah, mwah," and go, "My boyfriend gives me kisses. My boyfriend gives me kisses." Imagine if I ran that with you. Hey, Amos, there's me girlfriend. Here she comes. She gives me kisses. She does. Oh, she leaves me kisses.
She dances for me.
Yeah, bloody hell. Terrible.
Well, that's what's happening at this moment.
At this moment, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to go back and record the intro of all the amazing things we talked about.
I can't believe we didn't get the Elon Musk K-hole, but for another time.